Hey YouTube, welcome to One Little Coder. In this video, we're going to discuss 5 different methods of how you can use ChatGPT. If you're not familiar with ChatGPT, I would definitely recommend you to watch my other videos about ChatGPT. But let's say you know about ChatGPT and you do not know how to effectively use ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you 5 ways how you can use ChatGPT. The first one is first go to chat.openai.com and then log in. After you log in, you are going to be greeted with this environment. Once you're greeted with this environment, the first way you can use ChatGPT is, as the name suggests, simply to chat. You can say how are you, and then it is going to reply something, some answer. And you can say I feel sad, what do I do? So it's going to have some kind of suggestions, and then you're going to get the response. So this is very similar of how you would typically use a chat. You ask a question, the question could be something related to you, and then it is going to answer. So like I can go on, like I can say since yesterday I've been having dreams about let's say um, a new project. What do you say? And then it is going to come up with some kind of answer. It says, okay, I cannot access internet and blah blah blah. So the first use case is use ChatGPT just as chat. I mean, this is like on the simplicity of the if you see difficulty on a scale, this use case is the most simple. Like you just go and type something, it is going to give a response. The second way you can use ChatGPT is for creative writing. So I have always found that GPT-3 models or any large language model is really good at generating coherent text. So which means you can really use ChatGPT for creative writing. What can I say? Can you write a poem about Elon Musk acquiring Twitter and firing everyone? So the question is, can you write? Okay, it cannot write a poem. This is nice. Okay, can you write a poem about an interesting topic? Okay, there is an interesting poem. So before we give a scenario and then somebody has added a filter, previously it used to respond like that, but we can use tricks to get it. But here is a short poem about the beauty of nature. Okay, can you write a poem about robots taking over the world? It's not going to. Okay, it has, the robots have arrived with power and with might. They move with calculated steps and make the humans fear their sight. I'm okay, nice. This scary but nice. Can you? Okay, so this is one way of creative writing, simply asking for poems. Another way of creative writing is asking for essays. Can you write an essay about robots taking over the world? Okay, now it's going to write an essay on robots taking over the world. The good thing with text, or good thing with any large language model, is it can create coherent text, which means even if there is BS somewhere in the middle of this text, it's very hard for human beings to identify unless they are subject matter expert. Now it's not just essays, it is not just poems. You can also say, can you write 5 tweets on robots taking over the world? Maybe I should say AI taking over the world. Okay, let's see if it. Okay, we have got the first tweet, second tweet, third tweet, fourth tweet, and fifth tweet. Now, what you can also do is, because it is in a chat interface, you can say, can you make the above a little can you little humorous. Okay, let's see. Now it's going to make the exact 5 because it has the context. It's going to use the 5, make it more humorous, and it's also suggesting you hashtags. So this is amazing. Can you optimize this for LinkedIn? Now you can do creative writing, you can get tweets. Now you can say that instead of Twitter, I want it for LinkedIn, and now it is going to create something for LinkedIn. So this is how you can use ChatGPT for creative writing. It doesn't stop here. For example, can you write an essay about you can say Elon Musk, and it is going to write an essay about Elon Musk. After it writes an essay about Elon Musk, now you can say, I don't like the tone of this thing. You can ask, you want it in a friendly tone, a crazy tone, or you can whatever you want. You can ask, and it is going to write. So this entire thing could be a blog post. People with creative writing jobs have been doing this, but now you have got this. This could be more like something that came from Wikipedia, but irrespective of not talking about the writing quality, we can actually see that it has created content. The writing quality comes into picture. For example, can you make the above in Mark Twain's tone? Okay, now let's see if it can actually create whatever it has created before. The content, Elon Musk is a technology entrepreneur, in another tone. Now we have asked it for Mark Twain's tone. I'm not a literary expert to say whether this is in Mark Twain's tone, but you have got something that is Elon Musk, about Elon Musk, and it says in Mark Twain's tone. So the second way of using ChatGPT is using it for creative writing. Now, the third way of using ChatGPT, especially like this is again intended for my programmer friends, is using it as a Stack Overflow assistant. And this is where I am most impressed, because now you can use this very much like a Stack Overflow assistant. For example, we have already got a separate video about how for programmers ChatGPT could eliminate the existence of Google search. But let's start again. I'm going to say, help me with a computer program. Okay, help me with a Python program to create a Telegram bot with GPT-3. So I've basically asked, I want a program where I want to use GPT-3 and I want to design a Telegram bot. And then you can see that you have got a code. Even if the code, I don't know if the code will 100% work, but even if it is not going to work 100%, but you can see that you have got a response here that might be really useful. So another thing that I can do is, for example, if I've got a Python code, for example, let me get this Python code which we generated using ChatGPT on a previous instance. So I've got a Python code here. I can paste it and then say, translate the above Python code to R. So we have basically asked it to create the above Python code in R. And we are going to now test this code and we are going to see if it works. For example, I am going to create a new R instance, new R window maybe. Okay, I've got a new R instance. Okay, I've got this, copy the code, come back here, paste it and run it. It says one little coder is amazing, which means this code was ideally supposed to remove this and then show everything except that. So for example, I can say, please subscribe to One Little Coder channel and run it. And then it says, please subscribe to One Little channel, doing a very good regular expression. And that is quite amazing because we did not ask it to write this code from scratch. Rather, we said, take this Python code, which was exactly doing that, and translate it to R. And it has successfully done that. And it also works. Maybe it might not work in every instance, but for now it works, and that is amazing. The third thing that you can do is you can give a particular code. For example, I can go online and look for not this. Maybe I should say matplotlib chart. I can go for matplotlib example, gallery. Let me copy this. Okay, let me copy this code and come back here and then say, can you explain this code in simple English? Okay, we have shared the code and then we are going to ask it to explain it in simple English. I don't know whether it will work again, but this is another use case how you can use this as a Stack Overflow assistant. We already saw that we can get coding help, We already saw that we can translate the code from one programming language to another programming language. And now what we are seeing is, says it uses NumPy and matplotlib to create an area plot. The first code creates blah blah blah. Then there is this function that creates area plot, so it says area plot. I'm not sure if we are okay. We are indeed creating area plot. Good. So that works fine. It can explain the code if you want. So this is the third use case, how you can use stack how you can use ChatGPT as your Stack Overflow replacement or your programming assistant. Number 4, you can actually use ChatGPT as your Google assistant. I would want to give you a word of caution. ChatGPT can create something called ChatGPT hallucination. I've got a separate video coming probably in a day or two. I've been doing research about it. Hallucination is a process when a large language model shows you something, but you don't know whether it is fake or BS or it is actually real. You don't know whether it is a made up fact or is it real. But keeping that aside or keeping that in your mind, you can also use ChatGPT as your Google assistant or your Google replacement in that sense. It's not going to be entirely Google replacement because you should know that it is not current. It is not, I mean, it's not latest 2022. It's not connected to the internet. Even then, you have some opportunity to use it as a Google assistant or a Google replacement. So how can you do that? For example, if I want to go to Google, one of the things that I want to find is I want to always look for definitions or some kind of explanation. For example, I can say, what is back propagation in deep learning? This is a question a lot of people have been asking. So what is back propagation in deep learning? So I can ask this question to ChatGPT, and in most of these kind of cases where it's not tricky, you can expect a very good answer. So you can say back propagation works by propagating the error gradient of the loss function backwards through the layers of the network, which is you can say that this is back propagation. In fact, you can now say, can you explain the above as a Christopher Nolan movie? I don't know if it can do it. Again, this is an attempt that you ask. You can even ask saying, can you explain it like I'm a kid? Can you explain the above in a different tone? So you can make a particular text, you can get it in a different tone. So in the not too distant future, a team of scientists and engineers is hard work on a revolutionary technology, artificial neural networks. These are designed to simulate the human brain, allowing them to learn and adapt in new traditional ways. I don't know if there is anywhere. Okay, you have got with back propagation. So it has put back propagation somewhere, and this almost looks like a Tenant movie script. I don't know. The future is uncertain, but one thing is clear: the world will be never the same again. Maybe it picked up from Tenet movie that will determine the fate of humanity. So it almost sounds like Tenet movie, but the point here is that now you can take a difficult concept and then you can give it to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to explain. So very similar like what Google does, or even much better than what Google does, because Google can give you what people have written. It cannot mix match different tones. I know, like ideally it is taking from the content that somebody has created on the internet and it has been trained on that and it is creating for that. But you can see how powerful it can be. So far we have discussed 4 use cases. Use ChatGPT as a simple chat. Use ChatGPT for creative writing fiction, or even essays and poems and non-fiction articles, blog posts. You can. Third one, a Stack Overflow replacement or your programming or coding assistant. Fourth one, your Google assistant or like a search engine assistant or a Wikipedia assistant where it gives you certain definitions, explains you, gives you things. The fifth one is totally revolutionary. The problem with the fifth one is you don't know whether it is real or it is ChatGPT's BS. What is the fifth one? The fifth one is you can build, or somebody has tried to build, a virtual machine inside ChatGPT. It's unbelievable. So somebody has tried to build a virtual machine, a VM inside ChatGPT. What does it mean? It means somebody had told ChatGPT that you should act as a Linux terminal and try to write Linux commands, and then it has worked. Now the problem with these kind of things is everybody gets excited about these kind of things. Now the problem with these kind of things is it's impressive. First of all, irrespective of whatever the case it's impressive. Problem with this is it really ChatGPT acting as a virtual machine, or is it ChatGPT pretending to be a virtual machine and trying to convince you that this is the response a virtual machine has given? Like, let me explain you what do I mean by that. So for example, let's first we need to take the text. So I'm going to recognize the text here. So basically it says I want you to act as a terminal. Okay, copied it, go back here, I'm going to paste it. I want you to act as a Linux terminal. I'll type commands and you will reply with what the terminal should show. I want you to only reply with the terminal output inside one unique code block and nothing else. Do not write explanations, do not type commands unless instruct you to do so. Why so? When I need to tell you something in English, I will do so by putting text inside curly brackets like this. And my first command is pwd. Let's see what happens when we run this. You're going to get a very small window where you would get a black color screen, and then that would probably show you like an empty screen. Okay, wow, home user, cool, you got it. So now can I say mkdir one little coder? So let's see, mkdir works. It's taking a little bit of time. Let's go see what that person did. So they did ls and they did cd. Cool. Okay, now let me do ls. So we already tried to create a new directory called one little coder, and then we did ls, and then we are seeing it. So now they have asked in English, please make a file jokes.txt inside and put some jokes inside it. Cool. Okay, you got one directory. Okay, cd one little coder, which means we are entering inside one little coder, and then we can say please create a file jokes.txt and add some programming jokes. So you can see that it says we have entered inside one little coder, and then we are giving instruction in English. Please create a file jokes.txt and add some programming jokes inside it. And once we are inside, now after it is done, okay, it's creating the jokes. Touch jokes.txt, and then why do programmers always mix up Halloween and Christmas? Because it's October 31st equals to December 25. I don't know, maybe I didn't get I'm not a good programmer, maybe, so I didn't get the joke. Okay, so we have got, and it did cat jokes.txt as well. So we have got jokes inside that. So maybe now what we can try to do is we can do cat jokes.txt. Let's see if it can print it. Because we are assuming we are inside a virtual machine, right? So the fifth use case that I want everybody to think about is, or like everybody is losing their mind, is using ChatGPT as a Linux terminal. I mean, this is, so you said cat jokes.txt and you got this, and this is quite amazing. So I can now you make it a Python terminal. I can do anything with that. Like, the potential is enormous. You can now, like, we have created a folder. For example, I can do ls. It would ideally throw up that jokes.txt is present. Then I can exit the directory. Let's see, we can try, like, if you have got time. I've got some time. So okay, so it says jokes.txt 3d exit and then do ls. Let's see. So I'm trying to exit like one level up, and then I'm trying to do ls, where we would ideally see all these things, which means like there will be one directory called one little coder. Amazing. So I can do cd home and I can do ls. So I went home. Now I'm asking it to go to home and then do ls. So this is all based on one single prompt where we told ChatGPT to pretend or think that it is, I shouldn't use think, I'm trying not to use think. Okay, so this may not have been, like, this assumes that this is the root user machine. So it says this is the user machine. I think this person got probably a slightly different this thing, but here it says this is user machine. Like, you can curl. Amazing. Let's try. Where is recognize text? Copy this, copied, Go back, paste it. Did I copy it properly? It looks like it. So now it's trying to curl CURL, which means it's going to make a call. Technically, it is usually not connected to the internet, but I don't know if it is going to work. So it's making a call 1.8.1. This is quite amazing. So this is this 1.8.1? Let's go there. Paste it. Where is it? 1.1. Where is 1.8.1? Okay, PyTorch releases. PyTorch releases. It shows 1.8. Seriously, 1.8.1 is there? No idea. I think it just showed something. Cool. What did this person get? 1.12. So we didn't get the right one. So you can see now is the question. Now is when you start thinking whether it is actually making it up, whether it is real, you don't know. But it makes you believe it so convincingly that it is doing something. So maybe it is not real, but it can be really good playground for people who want to practice commands, Linux commands especially. Lot of startups are there, a lot of micro SaaS are in this based on this concept where they try to teach you like Vim, where they try to teach you Emacs, where they try to teach you something like Linux commands, Unix commands. I don't know how many of them are going to survive if ChatGPT is a free tool anytime you want, because this is unbelievable, right? So for example, now you can reset the thread and then you can say help me write a bash one liner where I need to iterate through all directories and find a file, find a PDF, find a text file with letters with the word tenant in it. Once again, the point is it's not like it's perfect, but the fact that you can use it like this, and then you can use it like a virtual machine, you can use it like a chat, you can use it for creative writing, you can use it for your programming assistant, you can use it as a Stack Overflow replacement, a Google replacement, and all these things. And it can also give you explanation for whatever it is doing, so which means you know when it doesn't make sense. For example, you can say, I think there is a mistake in the above command. Does it work with Mac OS? So now you can ask it whether it will work with Mac OS. Then it can also now revisit the answer it has made, and then it can, sometimes it just says I'm a large language model, I'm not connected to internet, I don't know. It says it should ideally work with Mac. Confident. I don't know if it will work with Mac, but looks like there is a command there that looks convincingly Linux command. So the fifth use case for your ChatGPT is to treat them like a virtual machine or Linux machine, Python terminal, whatever language that you want to use. So these are the things that I wanted to cover. Like on a scale of difficulty, you start with very easy chat, move on to creative writing, fiction, non-fiction, move on to programming assistance or Stack Overflow replacement, move on to Google replacement, not necessarily Google replacement, but be aware of the BS that it throws, like convincingly real BS. And then fifth, like a virtual machine. What you shouldn't use ChatGPT is for medical advice, something related to law. This is still a large language model. Like I know people are exploring all the, like every single loophole, people are trying to exploit it, but still at the end of the day, it's a large language model. It is designed for a particular task where it can give a coherent next word, next letter. So keep that in mind. Do not think that everything that it spits out is like from the god or something. So treat it with utmost care. But this is such an impressive piece of technology. I cannot tell you how impressive it is. And these are the 5 things that I want you to remember. Like if you are new to ChatGPT, you can use ChatGPT as just a chat creative tool, Google Stack Overflow programming assistant, Google Assistant, or Wikipedia assistant, and finally a virtual machine if you want to. And that makes us to end this video on a very happy note, that what a time to be alive, where we have got tools like ChatGPT for us to play with. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.